Breaking news out of Afghanistan. Overnight, 2 U.S. service members killed in Afghanistan. The latest on that plan to withdraw U.S. troops as violence grows and ISIS builds a new stronghold in that country.
Also this morning, bracing for the Mueller report. Washington on edge as new clues point to the report's release at any moment and what we're learning about new indictments.
The new alert in Texas this morning after that massive chemical plant fire. School canceled again, concerns rising about the air.
Also this morning, new video of that incident on the ice. The American figure skater under fire, accused of deliberately slashing her rival with her skate. The investigation right now.
High wire horror. Newly released tape of that terrifying Nick Wallenda stunt. 5 performers plummet 25 feet to the ground. How they survived.
I am the dragon's daughter.
Fight for her life. Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke revealing she nearly died from a brain aneurysm. The warning signs that should send you straight to the hospital.
And let the March Madness begin. The three-point stunner. Sending star Fletcher McGee to the record books, giving his underdog team their first tournament win. And the major upsets, busting brackets across the country and breaking this man's heart.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Poor Bill Murray. Good morning, America. He had reason to be unhappy yesterday. His son coaches Louisville, assistant coach. They lost.
Oh, boy. Yeah, well, a lot of people were upset this morning. He's not the only one, George. After 16 games, of the 17 million brackets on ESPN, less than 1% are still perfect. Yeah, and that's just after the first day.
Day one. All right, we're going to have more on that later this morning, but we are going to begin with that breaking news. 2 U.S. service members killed in action in Afghanistan, the 3rd and 4th Americans to die there this year. Let's go right to ABC's Eva Pilgrim with the latest. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Cecilia. We are just getting word this morning 2 American service members were killed in Afghanistan during a mission in the northern part of the country. At this time, the military not giving many details about the circumstances surrounding their deaths, but saying the 2 were killed as the result of a small arms fire and saying it is now under investigation. This brings the total of American service members killed in Afghanistan this year to 4. There are about 14,000 U.S. forces in the country supporting Afghan forces as they struggle with a resurgent Taliban who now has control of over half the country and the Islamic State affiliate. This, as the Pentagon has been working on plans to withdraw up to half the American forces, at the same time stepping up efforts and negotiating with the Taliban. Cecilia.
And our thoughts certainly go out to the family members of those service members. Okay, Eva, thank you. George?
Thanks, Cecilia. To Washington now, where the White House media, members of Congress, all brace for the end game of the Mueller investigation. Signs now that Mueller could deliver his report to the Attorney General as early as today, and our chief White House correspondent John Carl has unearthed an official letter that offers guidance on what we might see. Good morning, John.
Good morning, George. Nobody outside of the investigation knows exactly what to expect from Robert Mueller, but the man who has overseen the special counsel has offered a clue. This morning, all eyes are on special counsel Robert Mueller.
What are you expecting? Well, it's always interesting to me because a deputy that didn't get any votes appoints a man that didn't get any votes. He's going to write a report on me.
The investigation is expected to wrap up soon. President Trump is waiting too. In an interview airing this morning on Fox News, the president again lashed out at the special counsel.
For 2 years we've gone through this nonsense because there's no collusion with Russia. You know that better than anybody. And there's no obstruction. They'll say, oh, well, wait, there was no collusion. That was a hoax. But he obstructed in fighting against the hoax.
Sources familiar with the investigation tell ABC News they expect no more indictments from the special counsel. As for the president and any others who are not indicted, the man who has overseen the investigation, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, hinted in a little-noticed letter written last year that it would not offer a harsh public rebuke of those not indicted. As Rosenstein wrote, we also have a duty to prevent the disclosure of information that would unfairly tarnish people who are not charged with crimes. Ultimately, it will be up to the new Attorney General, William Barr, to decide how much of the Mueller report is released to the public. George?
And he says he will do what is consistent with regulations. Okay, John, thanks very much for bringing our senior congressional correspondent, Mary Bruce, for more on that. And Mary, on Capitol Hill, Democrats on Capitol Hill, those in the majority right now, concerned that they might not see the report or the underlying investigative materials, and they say there's precedent for that release.
Yeah, George, Democrats are making very clear that they are not going to be satisfied unless they see the full Mueller report and the underlying evidence. That means that they're going to use every tool they have available to them to fight for this. That means you're going to see subpoenas. It means you're likely going to see Robert Mueller up here testifying on the Hill, and that they're willing to fight this in court. The Democratic chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Schiff, notes that there is precedent for this. He says that when Republicans were in charge, they sought and obtained the underlying evidence regarding the Hillary Clinton email investigation. So, George, this is going to be a long fight up here, and Democrats aren't waiting, though. They are making very clear they're still continuing to ramp up their own investigations while they wait to get all this other information.
Yeah, one of those also has echoes of the Hillary Clinton email investigation. The House Oversight Committee now unearthing evidence that Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump used their personal emails and messaging systems for government business.
Yeah, the chairman, George, says that Kushner's lawyers told him that the president's son-in-law used a private messaging app for official business, and that Ivanka Trump may not be properly preserving some of her private emails on her private account. Democrats say this raises concerns about violations of the Federal Records Act, and they want more information, but they say that the White House right now is stonewalling them. In a letter to the White House counsel, Cummings says that their failure to provide documents is, quote, obstructing the committee's investigation, and he's warning the White House that if they continue to withhold these documents from the committee, that, quote, we will be forced to consider alternative means to obtain compliance. George, that is a clear signal that they're willing to use their subpoena power here.
Lots of court battles ahead. Mary Bruce, thanks very much. Michael?
All right, thank you, George. And now the latest on those Boeing 737 MAX jets. This morning, there are reports that American Airlines pilots may test the software fix in a simulator as soon as this weekend. This comes as questions grow about Boeing charging extra for a safety feature that was absent in both the doomed planes. ABC David Curley has the details. Good morning, David.
Morning, Michael. Boeing is moving quickly with this software update. We're told they may start meeting with customers soon to explain what the update will mean for their aircraft. In the meantime, one airline from Indonesia says it would like to cancel its orders for this new aircraft. This morning, one airline saying it's lost confidence in the 737 MAX is asking to cancel its nearly $5 billion order after trouble with this sensor in at least one of the crashes. The carrier, Garuda, telling ABC News that it may switch to other Boeing aircraft because an outright cancellation for the airline would be costly. This as Boeing is getting ready to roll out that promised software update to their controversial anti-stall system, reportedly as early as the coming days. That news coming after we learned that both the Ethiopian jet and the doomed Lion airplane months earlier reportedly did not have two optional add-on safety features for the MAX, features that came with the price tag. Every 737 MAX has two sensors to indicate whether the nose of the jet is pointed up or down. But that anti-stall system, known as MCAST, which was activated during the Lion Air crash, forces the nose down only using one sensor. For a price, an icon showing the angle of the jet can be added to the screen in the cockpit. A second add-on has a light turn on if the sensors don't agree.
Two identical sensors on the airplane, they both ought to be feeding data to the cockpit. You shouldn't have to pay extra to get them both to talk to the pilots.
In the software update, the disagree light will be a standard feature, and Boeing says in the future the MCAS will rely on two sensors before engaging.
Original design relied on the pilots to take appropriate action. What we've learned from these two accidents, that may not occur.
Southwest and American Airlines both pay for those safety features, but United does not, saying their pilots are trained with other instruments and to shut off the anti-stall system if it is engaged incorrectly. Now, this software update is going to require certification from the FAA and additional training. If that is simulator training, that's going to be difficult because there aren't that many simulators out there for the MAX 9. So, Cecilia, this aircraft could stay on the ground for several more weeks.
Wow. Okay, David, thank you. We'll turn now to that new flooding threat in the Midwest. Overnight, another town in Missouri forced to evacuate as the river there rises. Rob's got the very latest. Hey, Rob.
Hi, Cecilia. Another levee breach, now over a dozen just in the past week. This is a video out of Craig, Missouri, the Iowa-Nebraska border, also seeing a lot of flooding, and across parts of southwest Minnesota. This is the Cottonwood River. Look at this ice flow, and of course, when this ice gets to certain parts of the river, it can can jam up and cause even more flooding. That's been a problem this week, and it will be a problem ongoing. NOAA late yesterday releasing a flood statement saying that as we get towards May, 25 states at risk for moderate to major flooding, especially across the big rivers. This could rival, if not surpass, the flooding of 1993. So something we should be very concerned about in the weeks to come. George?
Keeping an eye on it. Okay, Rob, thanks very much. The latest now on that chemical plant fire in Texas. Schools closed again this morning amid concerns and confusion about air quality. ABC's Alex Perez is on the scene in Deer Park. And Alex, people were first told to shelter in place when the National Guard came in, but now that order's been lifted and residents still wary.
Yeah, that's right, George. Officials say they continue to monitor the air quality in this area, but people who live here are on edge and they do not want to take any chances. Now, because of the quality of the air following the containment of that massive gas plant fire, most schools in the area say they will be closed today as a precaution. Now, they plan to use that time to decontaminate playgrounds and clean other parts of school buildings. Yesterday morning, authorities issued a shelter-in-place order after officials determined the levels in the air of benzene, an ingredient in gasoline, were unsafe. Benzene has been linked to cancer. Now, after authorities sprayed another layer of that special foam on the burned areas to contain the chemicals, the air quality did return to safe levels. Officials here say they are confident the air is safe and say they will stick with this until all of the risk is gone. George?
Alex Perez, thanks. Michael?
All right, George, thank you. And now to the race against time to rescue people trapped after that tropical cyclone in Mozambique. Hundreds of thousands may still need to be saved, and now more rain is moving in. ABC's Ian Panel is there in Mozambique with the latest. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. We are now in Beira, which is the epicenter of the disaster zone. And as we were flying in, you could clearly see the scale of flooding and destruction all around this area. The death toll now over 550, with experts describing this as one of the worst weather-related disasters ever in the Southern Hemisphere. The search for survivors is now critical. Watch as a rescuer drops from a helicopter onto a pile of mud, housing a family inside a destroyed makeshift hut. They're surrounded by contaminated water with nowhere to go. Similar scenes of people too weak to walk, being strapped and lifted on choppers. Others swimming their way to safety. One man recalls being told the floods were coming. I was inside my house and suddenly my brother ran in saying, "Wake up, the water's coming." Many areas now only accessible by helicopter. Aid from the World Food Programme coming in with over 1,700 metric tons of food. We visited one of the distribution centres in the capital, Maputo.
The big aid agencies are starting to kick in, but people here aren't waiting.
Helicopters and cargo planes deployed to Beira City and areas where people are cut off, surrounded by floodwaters. Survivors coming in on rescue boats to Mozambique's port, where food, shelter and medicine are now key priorities. And in the face of devastation, Mozambicans coming together. So a massive search and rescue operation is now underway. These are South African helicopters and they've been constantly flying, rescuing stranded people, delivering aid. But so much more is needed. Cecilia.
Ian, thanks. Boy, you really get a sense of that race there on the ground.
Scale huge.
Yeah. We are going to turn to that brewing beer battle over a Super Bowl commercial. Miller Coors taking on Anheuser-Busch to court, suing for false advertising. ABC's Janae Norman is here with the clash over corn syrup. Good morning, Janae.
Good morning. The battle of the beers, it's hitting a boiling point. Miller Coors taking Anheuser-Busch, the parent company of Bud Light, to court over that controversial Super Bowl ad. Now saying it singled them out for using corn syrup in their products, even though they say Anheuser-Busch uses corn syrup themselves in other products. In a newly filed lawsuit, Miller Coors says corn syrup is used as a common brewing fermentation aid, adding there is a difference between that corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup, which causes health problems if overly consumed. They maintain that there is no high fructose corn syrup in any of their products, about which the brand says Budweiser is being intentionally misleading. Cecilia.
Okay, any idea what how Anheuser-Busch is responding?
Yes, they're actually firing back, telling ABC News the recent Bud Light campaign is truthful and intended to point out a key difference from Miller Lite and Coors Light. Those beers are brewed with corn syrup. Bud Light is not. These are facts. That's what they have to say.
Thanks, Janae.
Battle of the Beers.
Hopping mad.
Hopping mad.
Got it?
Got it. That was pretty good. We're going to go to something else that make a lot of other people hopping mad. It's all the action on the court. Talking about March Madness, people. Records were broken and brackets were definitely busted. And the man with the plan, TJ Holmes, he's here with the highlights. What's up, TJ?
We go from beer to basketball. I love this show. I love this show. Look, don't rip up your brackets, folks, at home. You're okay. You're still alive in your office pools, maybe a little beat up in the bracket, but we didn't see a lot of those huge upsets that take out your Final Four teams. So you're okay. But we did see a major record fall yesterday, and we also might, after one day, have our star of the tournament. The madness is officially underway. A record-setting performance by Wofford's Fletcher McGee.
There's the record! Fletcher McGee!
With that bucket, he became the all-time NCAA Division I leader in three-pointers made. History for his 7th-seeded Wofford Terriers as well, winning their first-ever NCAA tournament game.
It's a jaw jam!
But it was Murray State's Ja Morant turning heads and ankles in his 12th-seeded Racers' decisive upset of 5th-seed Marquette.
Morant answers the triple.
The sophomore and top NBA prospect had 17 points, 11 rebounds, and 16 assists, becoming only the 8th player to ever officially post a triple-double in an NCAA tournament game.
It was a lot of fun. I just feel like I have great players around me, and they made me look better.
If that didn't bust your bracket, maybe it was 10th seed Florida taking out 7th seed Nevada, or maybe another 10th seed Minnesota upsetting Louisville. None more displeased by that one than actor and comedian Bill Murray, who showed up to support his son, Luke Murray, an assistant coach with Louisville. Murray became an instant meme, rooting against his longtime nemesis, the Gophers.
All right, so it was a fun day, but here's some perspective. 17.2 million brackets were filled out in the ESPN Bracket Challenge. After one day, less than 1% have a perfect bracket already. So, but still, you're in it. But still not a lot of perfect brackets.
Don't tear them up.
Don't, not yet. You're good.
It's not over.
You're good.
All right, and we're going to have much more on March Madness ahead in our show. And make sure you stick around. We have a special guest who's going to answer a few questions about it as well.
Yeah, big dude.
Big dude. Yeah, he's big dude. Knows his basketball. How about that?
You're going to want to stick around for this one too, TJ.
Oh.
Another star who's kind of a big deal, legendary anchorman Ron Burgundy. He's back. Will Ferrell reprised his iconic character for some play-by-play commentary on the LA Kings San Jose Sharks matchup, which escalated quickly. Take a look.
I just was brought a bean burrito and a glass of milk. Oh, you don't mind if I bite into this burrito right now, do you? Oh my God. Yeah. Shot on goal! He scores! Put that baby to bed without a diaper. This is one of the greatest nights of my life. I got to kiss a burrito on the kiss cam.
I love that he's got the turtleneck, the signature Ron Burgundy turtleneck on too. Stay classy, San Diego. I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah. You got all the lines this morning. Somebody's watched this movie more than once.
I can keep going, but I won't.
Cecilia is very happy this Friday. We have some new video this morning of that clash on ice. American figure skater, see her right there, accused of slashing her rival with a skate during a warm-up of the World Championships. That's now drawing comparisons to Tanya Harding. We'll tell you about it next on GMA.
And we will have a lot more on the Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke's health scare that almost cost her life, how she survived 2 brain aneurysms. But first, let's go back over to Rob.
And winter is back for parts of Virginia. In the Blue Ridge there, 8 inches of snow stopping traffic along Route 33. This nor'easter continues to spin up towards the coast of Maine. Snow, rain coming to an end, and big-time winds tonight. Going to get back to winter at least for tomorrow. Time now for your weekend getaways, brought to you by JCPenney.
Look at you, ready for spring, ready for a fresh start, ready to surprise. With new styles, new colors, new you. It's the JCPenney Spring Collection. All the brands you love and all the styles that fit you and your life. Look at you now. JCPenney.
Well, the rain is over, but watch out for high water on the roads. Temperatures in the 40s, but wind chills in the 30s. By the midday hours, 2 to 6 p.m., we could have a gusty shower moving through the area, but hold tight at the steering wheel. We will have those gusts this afternoon between 30 and 40 miles an hour. We're dry tonight for your Friday night plans. Still windy and cold overnight. Tomorrow, another windy day, sunny, 53. Lighter winds, increasing clouds, Sunday, 62. And our next weather maker brings a chance for some spring showers Monday.
Lots to get through before the weekend, and we will be right back.
More Ron Burgundy quotes.
Corey is living with metastatic breast cancer, which is breast cancer that is